Hi, my name's Claire, I'm the infant feeding coordinator. I'm just going to talk to you today about breastfeeding. So we know that there's a wealth of evidence that breast milk and breastfeeding reduce the risk of babies developing infectious diseases. There are numerous live constituents in breast milk, including immunoglobulins, antiviral factors and leukocytes that help to destroy bacteria, and they boost the baby's immune system. I've got a little video for you later on as well that explains this in a little bit more detail. Breast milk primes the immature gut of babies, helping it to mature and develop, which will help protect them from the infectious infections such as gastroenteritis, which we know is one of the biggest causes of babies being admitted to hospital. Breastfeeding your baby can also have massive benefits for you too, mum. It can reduce the risk of breast and ovarian cancer, and it can reduce the risk of postnatal depression. It can also reduce the risk of brittle bones later in life. Exclusively breastfeeding can use up to 500 calories per day as well, which helps to get your figure back quicker. So who doesn't love that statistic, eh? Breastfeeding your baby can also have benefits for your partner too. So your partner, you have the knowledge that your baby is getting the best start possible starting life. Less smelly nappies for you to change. It's free. Who doesn't love that, eh? Who doesn't love a freebie? And it's less preparation time, so you don't have to sterilise the bottles and make the bottles up in the middle of the night. For you as a family, it means you have no restrictions. So once COVID's over and you can go out as a family, you can spend the day out and about, and you don't have to rush back to feed your baby. Here at the Northumbria Trust, when you have your baby, we'll support you to breastfeed your baby if that's your choice, and we'll show you different positions, how to feed in to make it as comfortable as possible for yourself. So I'm just going to talk to you about feeding cues. So babies will display feeding cues for you to see. We did put a slide on earlier regarding this. So they will start moving the small movements at first. So sometimes we don't notice them. Start putting the hands in the mouth, moving to the side. All of these are really good feeding cues to be able to respond to your baby and put your baby to the breast and feed. Sometimes obviously in the night time when you're asleep we're not going to notice these feeding cues, but you are really tuned into your baby. Some mums say that and will not hear them steering. You absolutely are tuned in and you will hear your baby, so you'll respond to the feeding cues normally before they start crying as well. Babies have a feeding pattern, so they will start into a feeding pattern. They'll feed around 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period. They will cluster feed as well at evening time, so early evening into the night they'll start cluster feeding. So they'll feed, you'll put them down, they'll want to feed again. So within a 2-3 hour window they'll feed quite frequently. This is all perfectly normal. What babies are doing is they're stimulating your receptors to get the milk supply production going. So they're doing a little job in essence really, and they're doing it, they know what they're doing, so it's not anything that you've done wrong. We get mums saying, is it something that I've done wrong? Am I not feeding my baby right? Absolutely not. These are just normal feeding patterns of babies. Babies will need to feed during the night time. Our hormones are at the highest during the night. Babies are really tuned into this and know that this is the time that they need to feed. Babies are nocturnal, so they need to feed during the night, so they can't turn their clock around. So this is why we recommend to mums and dads that when your baby sleeps during the daytime, that you sleep as well. During COVID, it's a little bit easier for you to be able to do that. We talk about rooming in, and this is an ideal opportunity for you to be able to spend some time as a family bonding and feeding your baby and responding to your baby's feeding cues. So when you get discharged home, there's still lots more support for you available for you. So a bit later on in the presentation we've got slides about the planned community visits. There's also the infant feeding support workers that work out in the community as well, who will be able to come and support you. If you do need any extra support, then we are around for you, and we will come daily if needed and give you all the support you need to continue on your breastfeeding journey.